and strong. Talking Tigers all morning long. Saints exceed headlines on the screen. Breaking it down with a little caffeine. Grab your mug, come on in, let's wake this day and let it begin. It's morning scone, everybody on. Coffee's hot and the news is strong. Purple, gold, black and gold, stories waiting to be told from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. Talking sports and everything between. Wake up, smile, let's get it on. Start your day with morning scone. It's morning scone, everybody on. Coffee's hot and the news is strong. Purple, gold, black and gold, stories waiting to be told from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. Talking sports and everything between. Wake up, smile, let's get it on. Start your day with morning scone. Where the coffee's hot, the takes are hotter.
Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parrish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock and Roof, you call Parrish. Unique Physique, Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Bocock Brothers, Premium Cigars, code MAT15, 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 15% off your order, and FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Good morning, everybody. Hope your day is off to a great start. Hope you had a great night. Was up late trying to get as much information as I could on this Jack Pyburn situation. And it is a pretty remarkable thing that's transpiring here with the Louisiana judge that granted a temporary restraining order for 16 players to be able to return to college football. One of them being Jack Pyburn, 3 Ole Miss players involved as well. I mean, it stands to reason. This happened in Louisiana. I mean, you can imagine who filed who filed in a Louisiana courtroom. Obviously, people who had LSU's interest in mind here. So clearly, this is your answer. Was LSU interested in getting players back? Yes. And the ones that they're interested are very obvious. Jack Pyburn is the most obvious at a position that we've talked about all throughout camp about how thin they are, and that was compounded even further by Damian Shanklin's absence. And, you know, we can be super excited about Lamar Brown. He's still a true freshman. And the only player on the edge that actually has skins on the wall is Prince William Mielen. So if you can add a player like Jack Pyburn, I mean, of course, that makes you better. When you ever have the chance, potentially a week before the season, to add a player that makes you better with that level of experience. So I think there's 2 different conversations we have to have. Number one is, like, should this be allowed? And I think y'all know where I stand on that. The NCAA has very clearly written rules. It is not a lawless operation in college athletics. There are clearly written rules. But The adults don't want to follow them. So the NCAA rules these players ineligible, and the adults go file a lawsuit to get their guys eligible. So that's how you end up with things like this. Y'all know where I stand on it. I blame the adults in the room, the coaches, the administrators, the university athletic administrators. They could put a stop to all of this if they would say, no, Trinidad Chambliss, the NCAA ruled you ineligible. We're not going to court to get you another year of eligibility. You're ineligible. But they don't. They go to court. And so LSU is doing the same thing here. And I disagree with all of it. So there's that part of it. And then there's the component of it is to say, if it's allowed, what does it mean for your team? And if you're LSU, obviously you're looking at Pyburn, and then there's 3 Ole Miss players. So and the most attractive ones would be tight end Dae'Quan Wright, who knows this offense. Lane, of course, is going to lean offense. You feel like you're really good on defense to begin with. And then there's Zxavian Harris, a big 6'8", 330-pound defensive lineman. Can LSU afford, can you cobble the money to go get those 3 players? I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Lane at this point. His ability to get what he needs, and nobody's told him no for anything. And y'all heard me say that a bunch. So, I wouldn't put it past him. But if you're prioritizing, if Lane's prioritizing, my guess is Pyburn is 1, Dae'Quan Wright is 2, and Zxavian Harris is 3, if you're prioritizing the positions. And there's some other players there. I mean, look, there were 2, I think there were 2 running backs. It was one kid from Oregon State and one kid from SMU, who I looked him up, by the way. And he started his career, I don't remember his name, but he started his career at UCLA and played in that game in Baton Rouge in 2024. I looked it up. He had 7 carries for 11 yards or something. But that hot game when LSU played UCLA, that SMU, so he played 3 years at UCLA, then played last year at SMU. And then there's a kid from Oregon State as well. Look, I mean, for the issues that LSU has, we're talking about depth at running back. It would stand to reason to probably benefit you if you could get depth there too. But I don't know. There's a couple things. You have to have roster spots, and then you have to have money to pay these guys, which they're so far over budget. Are they really going to go add 2, 3, 4 more guys? I have no idea. I think that's really tough. But I wouldn't put it past Lane. All right, I got to send one text. Sorry, I need to send this text. It's about what we're talking about. Okay, let's say some good mornings here. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. If you're on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Hey, Brad, good morning. Mike, Abner, Bubba, Leon, glad to see everybody here this morning. Michael, what is it about Saints running backs having so many injuries? Hope we can recover soon. Well, Kamara's out a month if you missed that story with a sprained MCL. The good news is Kendre Miller returned yesterday from his back injury, and Travis Etienne Jr., knock on wood, has remained healthy, and that really is the key. I mean, that's the guy you want to spend $54 million on. Kamara hasn't been able to stay healthy his whole career. Alvin Kamara hasn't played a full season of games since his first year in the NFL. So that's no giant surprise. Hey, Dale. When do you expect Coach O to be hip-hopping along the sidelines again? I don't know, Dale. I mean, we'll be out of practice this morning. We have availability. And I think this is our last practice availability. Tomorrow will be walk through, and then they scrimmage Saturday, which is not open to the media. And then they're off of the practice field on Sunday, and then Monday school starts. So today's our last day of practice availability. So this will be the last time I have the opportunity to see. So when do we expect to see him? I don't know. I do not expect to see him on the practice field today, if you're asking that. Hey, Kevin, good morning. Jesse, now Riley's out for the Saints. Can we please stop practicing? Did I miss that? Oh, I don't know how I missed. Well, I do know how I missed that because I was buried in this Pyburn case yesterday. Oh my God. I see it. Ross has it at LouisianaSports.net. Quincy Riley, groin injury. This has been a brutal training camp. And you lose Brian Brzee on the first day. You lose Dylan Radins to a torn ACL. Jordan Tyson for 2 months. Kamara for a month. Now Quincy Riley could linger into the season. Sometimes you have to have luck to stay healthy and make your way through a season, and Saints do not have it right now. Jacob, good morning. What's your personal thoughts on Jack Pyburn coming back, even with him signed to the Bucks? I mean, my feeling on it is exactly what I've said all along. It's no different than my feeling on R.J. Lewis, the basketball player, or Trinidad Chambliss, or Charles Bediako, or any of these cases. I can't sit here and listen to people complain about the Wild Wild West and the lawlessness and there are no rules. There are rules. There are rules. Like the NCAA has ruled these players ineligible. And they've gone to court to challenge that. And the adults in the room, the university leadership, the athletic administration, the coaches could say, no, we're going to abide by the NCAA. We voluntarily signed up to be NCAA members and abide by their rule book and their enforcement arm. And they just keep suing instead. If they don't get a favorable ruling, they sue. So I don't blame any of these players for trying to pursue a path that could be more lucrative for them. And from Jack Pyburn's standpoint specifically, same with Trinidad Chambliss. I get it. Trinidad Chambliss wasn't going to go make $5-6 million bucks in the NFL this year. I mean, but he can go back to Ole Miss, be a god, make $6 million bucks. Wouldn't you do the same thing? So with that option open to them, I get why they do it, but the people that could put a stop to it are the adults, and they refuse to because there's so much riding on wins and losses that if you're Pete Golding, don't you want Trinidad Chambliss? Of course you do. And if you're Lane Kiffin, don't you want Jack Pyburn? Of course you do. Adam, good morning. Have a nice day. 9 days till college football. It's getting closer. Craig, good morning. With the 5-for-5 rule, does it start once you enroll in college or 1 year after you graduate high school? It's when you enroll in college or when you turn 18. And the reason is because they don't want, like, what if you went and like the Zach Von Rosenberg situation, right? If he went and played professional baseball, then came back into college as a 30-year-old, like they don't want that to happen. So it starts, your clock starts immediately. Zxavian Harris could really bolster the D-line. Ole Miss fans about to hate Lane even more. I think, listen, y'all know I have poked and prodded and dug and scraped and asked on the record and off the record everybody for weeks about this 5-for-5 thing if these players could come back. And I told you all yesterday, it was so odd because even people that normally are pretty transparent with me at all levels have been have been tight-lipped on this one. And be it they don't want to give up a competitive advantage or whatever the case may be. But I think this explains why. And so, but yes, I think it's very obvious to assume Pyburn, Dae'Quan Wright, the tight end from Ole Miss. Like, why would an Ole Miss tight end, an Ole Miss defensive lineman, an Ole Miss safety, why would they join this lawsuit for a TRO in a Louisiana courtroom? Come on. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Crazy Cajun, good morning. You know, Moose went right to Rouse's and bought apple juice. Have a great day. If you have an update on Coach O. I don't have an update on Coach O. I just, we're going to be at practice today, and I don't think he's going to be there. So, and we'll talk to Lane afterwards, and I'll ask him again. Hey, Noah. Morning, Matt. Been watching you since the coaching news. Glad I discovered you. Very cool. Thanks. Always look forward to watching the shows. Thank you so much, Noah. I appreciate that. Hey, Jeffrey. Good morning. The opening song is awesome. I jammed to it on the way to work. Thank you. AI's finest. Hey, Sean. Good morning. Jeremy. Good morning. Wondering how long it will be until college teams can sign players off NFL practice squads. Man, it's the wild west. The one thing that I like, a part of me at least is given pause to stop and say, okay, well, was the mic? Am I? Sorry, y'all. Sorry. That's weird. There, that should be better. All right, my apologies. Sorry. Hey, Sharon. Good morning. Hey, Brian. Good morning. What were we talking about? What was that comment? So part of me at least is given pause to say, look at the class of 22 guys. So that rule for the 5 for 5 went into place. And so it stinks for the guys that just graduated. So I kind of do empathize, but then it stinks for the guys that graduated the year before that as well, and the year before that. And anytime there's a rule change, there's always going to be someone who just missed out on it. So, like, at what point do you stop it? So I don't know. I mean, y'all know how I feel about it. I mean, I don't think these players should be eligible because the NCAA has ruled them ineligible. Like, it's very clear. It's black and white. If you take money, you're ineligible. Now, Pyburn, I was told, accepted a minimal, like a $15,000 signing bonus, but he had a $100,000 guaranteed. So it's called like a preferred UDFA when you get guaranteed money. So Pyburn was guaranteed, I think, $100,000. So we got $15,000 to sign, which is minimal. And then he was guaranteed $100K this year. Now, if he makes the Bucks, the rookie minimum, I looked it up last night. I have a piece up at LouisianaSports.net right now. Actually, if y'all would go read it, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, so the rookie minimum is $885. So, like, if Pyburn made the Bucks, he'd make the rookie minimum, and his contract would be $885K. So you have to think from LSU's perspective, you're going to have to pay at least that, right? Like, you're going to have to at least pay the rookie minimum. Now, I don't know about the other guys, but they won. I don't know what would it take to get Dae'Quan Wright to LSU or Zxavian Harris. Like, I don't know. Like, do they want $1 million? Like, can you go get each of them $1 million? That feels ambitious to think you're going to go add $3 million on top of this already roster. Anyway, but but sorry, what was the question? I don't know. There's something about signing guys off practice squads. I think it's just going to be interesting because we're still waiting on the ruling from the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals
on the NCAA's appeal, right? So the NCAA has appealed the judge in Colorado's ruling. And if the NCAA wins, then all these players are ineligible. But if that happens, like if the NCAA wins, then do all of them start suing individually? Maybe. I mean, just wild. I mean, it feels like these guys are going to be eligible. Based on a lot of the different conversations I had yesterday with coaches and admins and attorneys. I mean, I worked on this all night last night. I don't think I went to bed. I wrote this story last night at about 1 a.m. So the story that's published right now at LSN, based on all the different conversations I had, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on the story. And Pyburn's got a lot of connections still here that makes sense. Hang on one second. Let me go turn off Drew's sound machine and stuff. I'll pick up on that.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Okay. Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need North Peters, remember you go to Brock. If you need a roof, you call Parish. Unique physique, unique sex and wellness. It's the GLP-1, semaglutide, tirzepatide. Lowest prices, never any contracts. And they can ship your medicine anywhere in the world. UniquePhysique.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Bocock Brothers, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day we get to unveil the new Bocock Brothers box, the LSU football box. Excited about that. And of course, FMOL Health, our Lady of the Lake championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Hey, Lynn. Looks like Coach O's enjoying himself on the coaching LSU. I mean, he's in his element. He hadn't been out there for a week now, but we'll keep an eye on him today. Club. Devin, crazy how the NFL teams operate with only 53 players. We have practice squad as well, but yes. Sharon, has this happened before with a temporary restraining order? Well, yeah. I mean, that's how all those guys ultimately were granted their initial eligibility. Remember Charles Bediako, who was playing in the G League, who was eligible for 5 games for Alabama last year, whatever it was in basketball? Well, Bediako went and got a TRO. And so he was able to play while he had the TRO. But then ultimately, the NCAA appealed and won, which overruled his TRO, so then he was no longer eligible. So that's my point. Is like if the NCAA wins their appeal, then all these players that got the TRO would be ineligible. So it's a weird balancing act, because if you're Jack Pyburn right now or any of these guys and you're trying to make an NFL roster, which Jack Pyburn actually has a legitimate chance of making the Bucs 53-man roster. They got 2 more preseason games. So it's like, would you rather, if you're generally Jack can answer this, would you rather make the NFL, like make the 53-man roster, $100,000 in guarantees, but then he would get the minimum, the NFL rookie minimum of $885. I'm pretty sure it's $885. I know I wrote that. $885 or $855. I think it's $885. Here's the story. Here, I'm going to post this. If y'all would give it a read, that would be awesome. I wrote it I think I finished writing this at 1 a.m. So that should answer the questions that you have. A lot of the questions that you have. And Pyburn has a lot of connections to the staff. So even of course, Blake Baker and Kevin Peoples are still there, right? Peoples was his position coach. Now, Peoples is kicked inside, but he's still working with the D-line. Baker's still there. Pyburn and Witt became really good friends last year. Witt's obviously back for his senior year. Remember Jack's dad, Bill. I don't know if you remember, we had Jack on AFR when he transferred to LSU from Florida. Jack's dad does boat racing. So they have a lot of property on the water. Anyway, they have a place in Tickfaw. And Bill's wife, who's not Jack's mom, so I guess Jack's stepmom, Bill's wife is from Louisiana. So there's a lot of connectivity there. And then there's also Joe Houston. So Joe Houston is the special teams coach now at LSU. He was at Florida. And so Jack, early in his career, played special teams for Houston at Florida, for Joe Houston at Florida. So anyway, the point is, like, there's a lot of connections to Pyburn where it makes a lot of sense for him. Like, I get it. And then if you, let's say he comes back to college, and this is one thing I did have confirmed to me that I would have thought was different, was if those guys come back to college, they actually could re-enter the draft. Now, the caveat is Tampa would have to cut Pyburn. If he left, or if they wanted to add him to the 53, they would retain his rights. But if they cut him, then, and he goes back to school under this judge's ruling, as I understand it, he would, because he would be treated like a senior, he would be able to re-enter the draft next year. So you think of it like this. If you're Pyburn, you come back to school, you make money, maybe you play really well, you're able to re-enter the draft, and then maybe you're a higher draft pick. Not only do you make more money, but then you have more opportunity, more certainty of making an NFL roster because teams are more likely to keep their draft picks. Hey, Chris, I don't like the idea of a court deciding eligibility, but if it's okay for Chambliss, it's okay for the rest. Hey, Craig, good morning. Jeffrey, so if Jack comes back, does he get drafted again? Yeah, just answered that. It's a good question. It's one I had. Leon, he's in an NFL camp right now. Can Pyburn play defensive tackle? I'd be glad to have him back. I feel like we're pretty set at end. But you're not set at end. That's the problem. Like, you have Prince Williman Mielen, and then you have Jordan Ross, who's missed the last 2 practices, by the way. And after that, you've got Dylan Carpenter, who's been a career backup, and you have a true freshman in Lamar Brown. So the only guy with any skins on the wall is Prince Williman Mielen. And then you got to also remember, Uman Mielen and Ross are both more of your, like your speedy pass rushers. Jack's shown the ability to rush the passer, but he's also a set the edge, run stopping end as well, like a strong edge. Like he gives you something you don't have. Hey, Pat, good morning. Let's see, Zxavian Harris got his injunction as well. He's the guy at C-Lane signing. I'm telling you, and I spent all evening yesterday on the phone with a lot of people around this thing. Pyburn, Dae'Quan Wright, the tight end, Zxavian Harris. Those are the 3 to keep an eye on. And it makes sense, right? I mean, but Pyburn's going to be at the top of the list. Hey, Ben, good morning. Dalton, any news on Wade Roos NIL funding thing? Yeah, so I think their objective was they wanted to be able to formally unveil it before the Clemson game. So maybe in a couple of weeks. Leslie, Kelly, Steven, Matt, this would be embarrassing for Jack to come back. Embarrassing for who? I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but like, there's players all over college football, the 22 kids that are taking advantage of this. I mean, we do stories on it every day on around the SEC. I mean, just yesterday, Arkansas brought a kid who got regained eligibility from Dartmouth. I mean, Indiana brought back 2 starters from last year. I mean, it's Georgia just brought a kid back. I mean, Mississippi State's brought a couple back. I mean, it's quite literally happening all over the country. Hunter, is Coach O back at practice? He was not there on Tuesday evening when we got to go. We have practice availability this morning at 10 a.m., so I'll look for him, but I do not think he's going to be back today. Hey, Tony, good morning. John, any cornerbacks in the 15 eligible? Not among that 16 from yesterday, at least not that I remember seeing, but certainly there are cornerbacks around the country that would be eligible. Morning, Matt. Is Lakers John Elmore your twin? I don't know who John Elmore is. I'm sorry. Zxavian Harris would have a lot of crow to eat if he came to LSU. He's the one who trashes Lane about him leaving before the playoffs. Honestly, it'd be worth getting him to see how he handles it. And so many of these guys are just transactional now. They want to check, you know. Jody, good morning. Hey, Lee, good morning. Scott, good morning. Say one of these players are able to join the team after the season starts, the NCAA gets the motion overturned. Could they vacate wins? No. That's another thing I answered yesterday as well, because I asked an attorney that prior. So if you're operating under a court injunction, then that's the objective is to eliminate the punitive action from the NCAA in this case. So no, they could not in turn vacate wins. Look at Charles Bediako. Bediako played 5 games or whatever it was for Alabama basketball last year. They didn't have to go vacate those games. John, I know I don't say this in every question I ask, but thank you for answering them. Also, do we know if X Harris is healthy? How does that not disrupt team dynamics? The team dynamics part of it, I can't answer. Maybe it would. Or maybe all these guys just want to win because they're all basically pros anyway. At what point do you see it as freak accidents or bad strength and conditioning coaches? Yeah. Well, when you start talking about a lot of you're talking about the Saints, you start talking about hamstrings and groins and all the soft tissue stuff. I mean, that's when I start to go, are you actually properly preparing these guys? Eddie, thoughts on who gets 7 and 18 and when they announce that trade as in wit? I don't know, Eddie, and to be really honest with you, I don't really care who wears 7 and 18. That's never been a thing I care about. And when they usually announce it at the end of fall camp. So, the scrimmage on Saturday would probably be a good time if they wanted to do it then. But I genuinely don't know. Hey, Pat, good morning from Breckenridge. Nice. Robbie, good morning. Thoughts on Nussmeier's brother as a quarterback? Do you think he'll be better than Garrett? I haven't seen him. I've seen little clips and highlights and stuff online, but he's a lefty playing at Rummel now. All right, y'all, I'm late, so I got to go. My apologies if I missed you. As I get more on the Pyburn, this whole thing, I'll certainly talk about it. There's an episode of Locked on LSU that's live that I did last evening that kind of explains all of this. But I have a story up that I posted in the chat at louisianasports.net that's even with even more up to date that I wrote late last night. So I'll go ahead and post that in the comments as well if you want to go check it out. So, okay, I got to go. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, podcast, subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate us, leave a review. All of our sponsors linked in the description on YouTube and on podcast. Please go check out Locked on LSU, my story up at louisianasports.net. Y'all have a great day. See you. Peace.